everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how hyperproductivity is actually killing your results, slowly killing you, and what to do about it. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Charlene Rimsha and I'm owner of Everyday Coherence, and I help ambitious, creative young professionals overcome burnout so they can be effective at work and also really enjoy their downtime. And part of what I'm going to talk about in this video is the blurred boundaries between being on and off the clock. But I'll get to that in just a moment. So for those on LinkedIn, hello. For those on my website or on YouTube, this is my vlog for the month. So vlog number 4, hello. Feel free to comment. Would love to hear your feedback on any of the stuff as we go. So feel free to comment below. So let's see, hyperproductivity is basically how our corporate life, corporate culture, work life lives these days. Things are getting increasingly more fast-paced and demanding, which then just sends the message that I got to keep up. In order to keep my job, I got to keep up, kind of a thing. And so, and I see this in my clients and how it's been affecting them, and certainly with other people that I speak with that are not my clients, and just sort of reading about the phenomena. And specifically, I just recently listened to the Ezra Klein show, and he had on, let's see, Ann Helen Peterson, the one that did the viral BuzzFeed article on the millennials being the generation of burnout. Really comprehensive article. You've probably read it. If you haven't, go read it because it's great. And then Derek Thompson, who wrote an article, I believe, for The Atlantic on workism. And they both speak on the excessive internalized need to be always producing. So even when you're off the clock, there's this need to optimize how you are living your life in the most effective, efficient, tick off all the boxes kind of a way, which tends to lead to, yes, exacerbating burnout, but also just living sort of like a flat life when everything is kind of like just tick off that box, or I must be producing in order to have a joyful life, that it becomes counterproductive and then it sort of loses its joy. And it's highly stressful. And so psychoneurobiologically, we actually can't really feel joy when we're just so pumped with cortisol and other stress hormones, and our survival brain is going, oh my God, I gotta keep going, right? Sort of like I don't have time to rest, ultimately kind of is what ends up happening. And so, and then certainly, right, the blurred lines between on and off the clock, especially with our hyperconnectivity, where we can be available to our bosses or whoever on Slack or email or whatever it is on our smartphones, practically 24/7. And then on top of that, social media kind of curating our lives in a way is its own job, whether it is related specifically to your work, like myself as a business owner, it's related to my work, or if it's just related to living life in our modern society and just sort of keeping up with that aspect of it, right? So on and off the clock, there's work. It's about, productivity, get it out there, go. And that definitely perpetuates and creates the culture of burnout. And now I believe Ezra Klein called it the burnout lifestyle. I could happily call it that too. Not happily because I'm like, yay, we live in a lifestyle of burnout, or this is a culture of burnout. But I do agree with what he has to say. And so basically, right, hyperproductivity is really kind of crazy making. It just perpetuates the burnout, perpetuates the chronic stress, perpetuates that need to accomplish without there ever being a finish line or a chance to rest. And then also the idea that I need to get to that point so then I have permission to rest. That never quite comes. So really the way to handle it, to cure burnout, to work with all of this, is related to recognizing the importance and the need for rest. We place huge value on productivity and very little value on rest. But the truth of the matter is, as human beings, right, as biological machines, we need to rest so we can recover. Like literally recover. Our central nervous system needs to be able to recover from the stress response in order to effectively handle the next stressor that comes along. So in order to overcome burnout, you must first, it's more of a mindset shift than anything else, is truly value rest as much as productivity. Now that doesn't mean that you have to rest as much as you are productive, but it means understanding that in order to be productive and effective at work, that you must take breaks, that you must rest. And that could very well be 5-minute breaks at increments throughout the day, definitely doing meditation in the morning, yoga class in the afternoon, going for tea with your best friend, whatever it is. Just making sure that you prioritize that into your day. Now, it's simple, like the basic idea is simple, to prioritize rest along with productivity. But it's not easy to implement, particularly because we've become wired and patterned and habituated from some of the stuff I was talking about earlier and that they discussed on the Ezra Klein show, that the idea of resting is actually kind of very irritating and scary and kind of like panic and anxiety provoking, because our bodies and minds aren't used to that. There's this sense that if I'm not producing, then am I living a useful life? And some version of that, right? So it's simple, but not easy to start valuing rest as much as you do productivity. So again, I would love to hear anyone's comments. Feel free to disagree with me and be like, yo, this lady's crazy. Or agree with me. Would love to hear and kind of get a little bit of a dialogue going on this, because it is really important. Most of us are on some level smoldering, either from like low-level burnout, which is just sort of like equals life, or on those heightened levels where it's really starting to affect your health and well-being on major levels. So let's get this dialogue going. And for those on LinkedIn, if you want to talk to me a little bit more about like how specifically this affects you and ways that you can start to strategize to add more rest into your life specifically, then feel free to message me. Would love to talk with you about it. And that's it for now, and we'll talk later. Thanks so much for listening.